The school recently asked me to help them organize an online school attendance project. The original project was not well thought out, and each teacher was doing their own thing. So we sat and we talked about what the ultimate goals were, and we've come up with this program. Basically, all out of Google Sheets, Google Sites, and Google Data Studio and Google Forms to make this all work. So I keep all this in a single folder, and I'm going to start off and first show the form. So basically, the form, here's what the blank form looks like. You have a pop down for your date. You have a pop down for your teacher. The teacher, by the way, the teacher and the course and the student are populated with Form Ranger, so you don't have to come in and do this. This is taken care of, I'll show later in the sheet. And then you basically submit. The teacher comes in when a student checks in with them and chooses the date, teacher, course, student, and what kind of check-in they submit. All that data is brought into a form. So this is the form that we started with when we built the form, and I've since added all these other sheets to this. So let's see what we have. We have the courses, and here we list all the courses. This is where you add new students. When they register, you put in their class, their teacher, their student, their grade level, and what platform they're on. And then from there, we track all of that data because sometimes these students come in, they finish a course, and they're gone, but we want to keep their data. So now we're using the new checkbox feature in Google Sheets to show whether or not they're active. So when you take a look at the active sheet, I have 3 students, 3 teachers, and that many courses. And if I come back to my master and all of a sudden I student and J teacher are active, notice that automatically brings them in. Now, when that happens and the Form Ranger is the product that runs here, notice that when I update Form Ranger, it automatically updates this, and that Form Ranger also does that on Form Submit and every hour. So as you update your courses, that automatically brings in your teachers, because this actually is pulling all that data from courses. This is pulling the teachers from courses. This is pulling that from courses. And then all that data pops into here. We mark whether they're active or not. And then we also have a dashboard that helps us track. We have 48 courses, 13 teachers, and 18 students. And then we are doing some metrics here. We also have a sheet on here that lets us track students so that we can get a hold of parents, have addresses and phone numbers. And we've also brought in a calendar because the way we're tracking the attendance is via this calendar where we are using a function called weeknum. So August 27th is the 35th week of the year, which is the first week of the school year. All the data populates here, and then we disaggregate that data by teacher. So this is showing, if I take a look at data, I have teacher A has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I come over here and teacher A shows that we have 5, shows what weeks those are in, and we turn that green when we have a teacher or a student that has met their criteria of getting 2 check-ins that week on that class. Also then what we do is have back here I'll show that you have a spreadsheet for every teacher. This is actually performing something called an import range, where I'm pulling the data from the main sheet and I'm pulling in that information for teacher A and then disaggregating it by class so that he can look at his econ class and his biology class. And so each teacher would have one of these sheets. In addition, then we move on to being able to share this data through a website. This is the administrative side where we have an administrator that's going to take care of all the functions that need to happen on this main sheet. All the teachers really do is fill out the form. A kid comes in, they fill out the form, and then the teacher can, each teacher would just be able to go from this website, open up their sheet. We've already seen teacher A's sheet. On the admin side, What we're doing is also disaggregating some of this data so the administrators can look and see how many students per grade, students per teacher, classes per teacher, so forth and so on, how many students in each class, and track that data. And of course, all that data comes from this sheet. It all comes from this courses sheet. Basically, then on the attendance for admin, we also have a data studio report, and this is really great because here I can the administrators can search by name, so they can come in here and just search for a kid, or if you don't have very many kids, that wouldn't be that hard to do. Or I can come in and try to see how many kids I have, 7th, 8th graders, and I know that the kid's in 8th grade, so now I can find the data I need. It shows me that I have 7 kids that are in 8th grade, and then I could go back and show I have 18 students total. On page 2 of our Data Studio report, this is showing our online courses. So now I can filter on just courses. So here's my basic social studies. And then when you're in basic social studies, you can click the headers here to sort by student. So there's student A, D, H, K, P, and Q taking that particular course. Again, this function lets you search through, filter, and sort all of your classes. And notice when I do this by grade, for instance, I see that I have 8th graders. I have 5 students taking 22 classes with 11 different teachers. So it lets you filter through that data. And then finally, this last page is actually filtering the data that is on the data sheet itself. So as you collect a lot of data here, you can use the Data Studio project to basically look at teacher A, and now I'm just looking at the functions that teacher A has pushed in, how the reports have happened, whether the check-ins have been by phone, email, or in person. So I have 3 students, 1 teacher teaching 2 courses, and a total of 5 check-ins. If I switch to teacher B's got only a single check-in, 1 teacher, 1 student, 1 course. So again, in a quick summary, we've built out a system that is going to help the managers that are managing the online attendance, and also find a way for the teachers here to easily access this web page so they can fill out the form, they can open up their sheet, and everything runs out of a single folder here. There's a folder for every teacher. The teachers would be given rights to this folder, so they are the only ones that can see their particular sheet. Teacher A would be given rights to this. The managers would be given rights to this entire folder. So I'm going to document all of this on G Suite Pros, and if this is something you're interested in, you can always contact me.